in the shady spot right next to the wealthy spot. The wealthy spot's right there. I'm usually on the other side of that pole right there. Sitting right there. There like a wall is. Piece of wall. Hasn't stopped and rest in the shade a lot today. It must be too hot for him. Yeah, it's pretty close to 80 probably. So he stopped over here instead of over there in the shade. When we were sitting over there, I was providing shade for him. I was leaning over, blocking the sun. We went down there after going around the loop. He wanted to go down the trail. Look at that, I'm sitting under a felled tree. So there's it. Yeah. Today it's like I don't have any, like perception of my surroundings, you tell people pay attention to their surroundings. So like, first time it happened, I was fighting with Gato at the door to get the door shut so I could turn the air on so Elza and I could leave. And John just appeared in the driveway out of nowhere. Who knows, when he pulled up. I had been fighting with the cat for a while, trying to get it to move his fat ass. And walking up here, I'm walking up praying out loud, thank you, Lord, la 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 la, I'm grateful to you, Lord. And that one big tall bald dude that we see out here, he works there in the hospital, see him out here smoking a lot, sometimes with his vehicle. He was just there, we walked right up on him, he was under the tree. It's like I didn't even see him, even though I was looking at the tree where he was standing. I walked right up on him. He kind of flinched when we came within the 6 feet, passing too close absent-mindedly. Then sitting over there at the wealthy spot before we got up and walked around a little while ago. Fucking 4 people walked through, not all at the same time, 2 and then 1 and then 1, but all of them snuck up on me. I didn't know they were there until like the dog spun around and he was like, and I'm like, well, how'd they sneak up on you, You see what I'm saying? So I think they were all going fishing because I seen one of them with a pole for sure, and a few of them had waders on, and I think one of them was even a girl. But I have seen father and son coming up out of here with a fishing pole, like they go down there and fish. We went as far as where the fence is and came back to the loop and came around the loop. We came here, went down there, and then we came up, and this is where he decided to sit instead of going over there. So yeah, it's shady here. It's a little warm. The sun's hitting you, so the walk back would be warm for him. So it's gonna be like time to start walking him at night. Keep him cool during the day. Now what would the Army need a bunch of those for? They keep flying in groups of 4. What the fuck, man? Hey, y'all. It's 8:50. Hear that? Back clock that's 7 minutes fast. Same day, what, the 21st, Thursday? Yeah, that's in correlation with, there's been more like military sky traffic here than there's been since Jade home. But this is weird traffic where it's all little biplanes, you know, planes that land in the water. A whole bunch of small ones coming in 2 to 6 at a time, flying in to the different airfields and then flying out. So you gotta wonder what the fuck, man, you know? But yeah, they pulled up, these two hotties, young hotties, and you know, the modern dune buggies with the small wheels and shit. They said, hey, we're going to the, I had the windows down in this minivan I was sitting in it. Hey, we're going to ride on some trails. You want to go with us, you and your little dog? I was like, hell yeah. And I got out to grab the dog, and then I woke up. Yeah, I'm getting close, man. Where it's like, you know, I'm either going to have to kill myself or, you know, if a young hottie don't show up in my life to, like, rescue me, make me mobile, where I can get around and shit again. Because, well, you know, I'm not making any progress like this. And, you know, my feeling is that progress is expected, you know? And, it's like, well, I'll give you an example. I've been looking online, man, rigorously for a place, you know, that is suitable for me, you know, that I could afford. I have to be able to pay, you know, like $300 or less a month, which includes utilities, because I only get $700 and something a month, and, you know, I need like almost $500 a month and all of the other shit. You know, I have bills, fucking credit card bills and everything, man. And, it's like, so I'm not making it around to check the bulletin boards, the local bulletin boards, which in this town, they just rely on that. They don't even put their shit even in the local paper, which you can look at the local paper want ads online, which I've done. And it's like this house in the corner is a little shithole with an attached garage that, you know, the house next door and a bunch of other people use their garage, so you can just imagine the lack of privacy. But I have seen people working on the place that came out of it and walked around to go into the garage to get stuff to go back into the house to work on shit. So maybe it's boarded off or something. But yeah, there's a lot of screaming now from kids in a lot of different directions. And, you know, kids they don't have no sense of shame and shit. But yeah, there's been a lot of communication today. I backed off a little bit from how much I was communicating with some people to communicate more with an entity who was in need. Like, you know, my sister and I send each other a lot of texts, you know, the little details of our lives, what we've had to eat, you know, our walks, you know, pictures of our stuff that we see on our walks, you know, a little shit like that. You know, this entity, which, you know, the texting is available on, it's 24 hours, but I'm not going to respond 24 hours if I'm asleep or if my phone's nowhere near me, which that happens a lot because I don't carry it around. I don't worship my phone. And, you know, I don't got all kinds of shit connected to it where I'm expecting something through my phone, you see. So, yeah, my phone may sit in another room for hours until I remember to go check it. Or, you know, if I'm sleeping, I won't hear it. So it's like, you know, you text, yeah, you can text anytime, but you can't expect me to immediately respond because, well, I don't always immediately respond. Even if I hear the text, I may be busy doing something, and I can't distract myself from that because then I'll forget, and I won't go back to what I was doing, you see? And I don't like to do that kind of shit. You know, I like to, if I'm doing one thing, I like to apply myself, get that one thing done. You see, then move on to something else, get distracted. So yeah, this, I do know what it's like to be the hated entity, you know? to be disregarded, and it's like you're a non-entity. I know exactly what that's like, and I know that it's survivable. You see, you can survive it. I survive it. I'm hated, man. My life crumbled and shit, and it's like I'm having a hard time putting it back together from my crippled position, because while I am kind of crippled, I can't just drive off from here, I mean, I can, I know how, but there's a snitch next door, you see. So it's like, there's been that for a long time, but he's above the law. He can threaten me with shovels and everything else, bats of acid. And it's like, see, that's the kind of hatred, and that's hatred just for doing God's will here, feeding animals and shit. And the old couple across the street, they weren't prepared to fight against him, and he came against them with the city and shit, really fucked their lives up, and drove them up out of this shit, man, for real. I watched them try to get a couple out of here. I watched the police up in there, all kinds of shit. Cut that old man's bushes up, commit bush rape, where he's standing out there crying over what they did to his bushes, and then they would have the audacity to charge him for that shit, the city should have a right to rape your bushes and then charge you for it. So it's like it was little shit like that, making them close their cat box, that their son-in-law made them for outdoor kitties. Just evil, messed up shit, yo. And you see, so that's why I really relate to animals, especially the cats and skunks, is because, I know what it's like to be that entity where you don't have anyone. There's no hands of God. There's no empathy. There's no pity. You know what I'm saying? There's no sympathy, and it's like you're expected to just be like everybody else can be, even if you're incapable of doing it. And I'm having to try and pull rabbits out of my ass and shit, trying to manifest an entity that I did sow the seed for as a young person. So it's like the universe should be supplying this person soon. It's like there's more sky traffic, see? There's more of them little planes, but I can't get it to zoom in on them fast enough because they keep flying in low, just above houses, and they're flying where the trees are in the way and shit, the direction they're coming from. And then they're coming from over there beyond the trees, so it's like I can't get any of those guys either. But, my advice is to persevere. You're young. I bet you have a driver's license. And if you don't, I bet you can get it a whole lot easier than I can get mine. You see? And you should do that. You should empower yourself in every way. And you should do it, if for nothing else, for spite. I mean, if there are those who hate you, do it for spite. I just had a dream. Yeah, one of my songs, I've got hundreds of songs out there. One of my songs went viral. And it went so viral that it actually got on the Billboard charts and started getting played on the radio. And I just burned the whole fucking planet up with this song, man. This one fucking song. It was just everywhere. It was on so much that even I got tired of it. The novelty of it being on the radio, it wore off. And I was tired of hearing my own song, man. And, I was on the Billboard charts up high, so it's like the record labels had to come talk, you see? So there was actually an old school major label bidding war for me, yo. And I do remember the kind of song it was, so I have a clue what direction to go. It was one of my love ballads. I just don't know which one, but I remember hearing, in the dream, a love ballad and shit. I didn't hear the song, but it was one of my love ballads, and that was what was being talked about when I was being talked about. And I started work today on drums for a love ballad, because I had 3 or 4 song ideas I recorded with this and then put in a computer, you know, just like boom, boom, you know, some of them are just bass ideas, and other ones are like, this one is the second one, and it's the whole hook. You know, I got the hook. And it's like a love ballad. It's not really to anybody yet. You know, maybe I can keep it to where it's not to anybody. Because I don't want to write Jesse any more songs, and she ain't gonna even, you know, acknowledge them, you know, never appreciate any of them. You know, it's like, that's like pearls before swine, you know. Giving flowers to a witch, they turn black before she can grab them. You see, I don't know. I can't find anything to compare it to. Yeah, there's lots of mean little white kids everywhere. It's like, you know, it's children of the corn around here, man. I don't even know why so many of them are like right around here in front of this house and on this corner this way, because there's no kids this way towards the old dude, you know. There's no kids across the street from him. There's actually no reason for him to be there. But, okay. I started on this song, and, you know, started on the drums. And then, my brother called me to tell me, blah, blah, blah about the Keef, and he put it in the Keef kit and sent it back with John. I didn't get it yet, but I'm sure I will eventually. And, so, you know, it's like, well, I wanted to kind of be ready to clear out when John got here so that, like, you know, well, share the space, all that good shit. It's not my place. I'm a guest here. It's their house. So it's like, yeah, you know, I wanted to be ready to clear out. So I noticed it was going to start getting hot. I knew that he was going to come home and then have to leave. So to save him the hassle, I was going to go ahead and close doors up and windows up and turn the air conditioner on for the kitties, you know, because, well, they'll get pretty fucked up pissy and tear the house up and stink it up if you let them get too hot. Plus it's animal cruelty, you know. So, I, you know, was trying to get Gato out of the way, man. And, you know, that was the first of 5 times that I was snuck up on today. John was just there out of the blue. And then later I walked up while I was praying. I was actually saying, you know, I'm grateful to you, Lord, la la la, for this moment of true wealth. And that's what I had just blurted out of my mouth when I saw the dude. He was right there in front of me. I don't know how I walked up on him and didn't see him standing there under the tree. And he's the tall, bald dude that works at the hospital that I see out there all the time. And then a couple walked by behind us, and even Aslan didn't catch them until they were right there, you see. As they were walking by, I think they were going fishing. They had waders and shit. And then another dude walked by with waders, and even Aslan didn't catch him. And then another dude came by with waders, but he was kind of loud and he was running, so, you know, we heard him as he was coming up behind us. But we were still, like, snuck up on 3 times sitting there, you see. So it's like, these kids is taking so long to go by. It's like I can't stand them. You know, it's like how they roll in a big fucking group, and the lousy even dude, full-grown dude, looks like he's a muscular teenage dude. He came skating up. He was gonna skate this way and changed his mind when he saw them, spun around and went that way. It's like, yeah. And that dude's got big muscular arms and shit. He ain't letting me fuck around. Seems like he, you know, this take forever. Be up in somebody's shit up in their face and shit. You know, it's like take your bitch ass on, man. You know. Just waiting for the children of the corn to pass. It's like hanging out in front of the lady's house across the street now. She don't got no kids either. So we're just
on this first keef that my brother gave me on top of some Pineapple Express and this little Pineapple Express shake, which I'm almost out of already. I'm probably going to end up running out of smoke, but right about now, that's the least of my concerns, you know. So we're over the 15, so we're going to go up on a different channel than Motuphi again, which is fine. I don't want to be in a rush since like 3 minutes of our time got sucked up, you know. It's like, you know, I saw a woman walk by here the other day that looked like, you know, Ella. We used to live with her. She looked just like her, walking with a girl, young girl, a kid, and 2 dogs. One of the dogs had a muzzle on. And she walked across the street, you know, as I was sitting here. And it looked just like her. So I'm like looking at her hard, like, you know, hey, you know, look over here, you know, do you notice me? It's like, you know, holler at me, you know, if that's you, you know, I'm thinking to her. And, and, you know, when she got across the street, I had to restrain myself from yelling, hey, Ella, you know, Stella, because I didn't want to freak her out if it wasn't her, you know, because it could have just been somebody who looked just like her, you know. Chances are it was. Ella was probably at work. Ella works a lot. So, and I can't picture her walking past here of all places, you know, because she'd have to park close by to do it. Yep, my little dog's probably going to wake up. We'll see. We don't know if the little kids woke him up. But they hung out an ungodly long amount of time just in front of these 2 houses here, 3 houses, trading bikes and practicing wheelies and, you know, all other kinds of shit. I don't know why they do it here, but they do it here a lot. Those kids are always out here, like 4 or 5 kids, and there's always one of them on foot, and that's what takes them so long, is one of them's on foot and they're trading bikes, musical bikes, on their way by, practicing wheelies and shit. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of foot traffic. Dude on the skates coming back now, back up the block. He's still on the other side of the road though. Yeah. He got a feeling from those kids, kind of like I do. So yeah, a woman just went by with a dog. My little dog didn't say shit. He's awake. I don't know if he was awake when she went by. I see her. I seen her go by on the trail, and I didn't say nothing to her because he was being a little dick and I was trying to shut him up. Man, usually I'll say something, you know, insignificant, like, nice day for it, huh? You know, just to be friendly in case, like, they want to talk or something, because you're supposed to be willing to communicate. And while she is a woman, and she probably has a driver's license, you know, she probably even has a job. So it's like, you know, I could be leading with somebody that, you know what I'm saying? I'll make her stronger, she'll make me stronger. Because while I do have that solid income, it's not a lot, but, you know, you can count on it. It's there, you know? It's solid. So you put that with somebody else's income, and you can do something, something. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm hurting, you know, constantly. And, you know, it's like, I've reached this point where I'm walking around looking like I'm smiling, and it's really a grimace, man. But I've learned how to disguise my grimace as a smile, where it's like, yeah, I look like I'm happy, but my dog just out walking. And I've got this weird thing happening because of the shit with my chest. You know, I told you how it worked its way down below my belly button, and I got that pain there too. And it's like a conjunction, man. And sometimes I can feel it when I'm out with him. It's like I feel it in my legs when we come up some stairs or something. And It's like, man, like I feel like, oh man, I'm about to fall out, just ready to pass out. I have to stand at the top of the stairs. I like getting the smaller audience, uploading to places where, and then not sharing it on the other channels. I actually like that because I think, too many of the wrong people are seeing my content, watching for the wrong reasons. They're watching the crumble, my life burning down, and they're just they're anticipating, the next horrible thing to happen, and I'm just trying to, I don't know. I'm actually, to be honest, trying to die in my sleep. I feel like I should be allowed to if, nothing's going to change. If God can't do nothing to give me, like, cartoonish level revenge, which is not what you think I want. I don't want other people to suffer. I want them to have to watch me get blessed. Watch me, do what they all thought I couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Because, well, you don't do to an entity what's been done to me if you really think they're going to come into wealth and fame and power and shit. They're going to have a following. They're going to have fans who are like, on minion level. You see, you ain't going to want to do mean stuff to that guy. You're going to be on his good side, So, ultimately, people showed me with their actions, even if they lied with their words, they showed me with their actions that they didn't really believe in me and didn't believe that I was ever going to accomplish anything or get anywhere. Yeah, sunglasses are a little bit too hard to see through. I'm trying to get them up underneath my thing. There we go. It's hard to do backwards, believe it or not. Alright, yeah. Oh, the screeching. Some of the kids is silenced. It's 9:12, so maybe they have to go to bed at 9 or something, or go in or something. I don't know where it was coming from. But it comes from all directions now. You just hear screaming and screeching, it's like, if a kid was really, something happened to him, we wouldn't know because their play noises are scary sounding, It's like shit. Chilling screeches and screams and shit. So the world is kind of scary for me right now. I'm really alone. I'm not used to, like, and the entity that I was talking to today, this is interesting. Because, well, this entity is conscious of being alone. You could be alone and not be conscious of it. You're like oblivious to it. But secretly everybody's against you. Even people pretend like they like you and they seem happy to see you show up. Like when you show up at the bonfire and shit, they grab you and hug you, give you a beer, hand you the doobie. It's like, hey, Vinny's here, And then they turn out to be the most hating against you motherfuckers of the group. It's like, yeah. That's kind of the clique that, the backstabby, fuck your friends over, put cocaine in their ashtray or some shit, or tape it underneath their car and then call the police and tell them, drop a dime on them. They like to use the police as their minions. That's kind of white trashy, and that's why I don't roll in that clique anymore, is because, well, I don't want to be the guy, because I didn't show up at the bonfire that night to monitor the conversation. The conversation was about me, and I've already had it happen, for my birthday. Yeah, 2008, my van got vandalized. Computer got shot. There's a way you can shoot a computer on a Dodge Ram van. It's pretty easy. It takes every bit of 7 seconds, if that. 7 seconds and a willingness to get on the ground. all things that happen to me eventually get exposed to me. That's what's weird, you know, like that shit. It's like, hey, wow, you know, and bragging about shit, you know, evil shit. And then my dog Foxy Ruse got cut by a white devil bitch with a knife. It's like, yeah, you know, it was a move of the spirit to leave after the van thing before it could get any closer to the flesh. Especially seeing, you know, looking back and realizing, you know, I watched this bitch just get done cutting on my dog, you know, because I did find the cut on him later that day. And he didn't have it before he was on the porch alone with her. You know, and that's pretty sick. You can't leave your dog on the porch with some, you know, nasty, trashy white bitch. You know, it's like, she'll do some evil shit to your little dog. You know, it's like, what the fuck is the matter with you? That's a little dog. He didn't do nothing to you. He's trusting you as you're reaching out for him, and you fucking got a knife in your hand, gonna cut him and shit. Yeah. So it's like, he was a tough little fucker, though. And, I'm lucky your knife was kind of dull or something. I don't know. He didn't end up with a very deep cut. But it was enough that it could have got infected had I not caught it. And it had hair in it, you know. So, yeah. That's the level I've been hated on and alone, you know, because, well, this is an entity that looked at me, pretended to be my friend, shared weed with me, made food for me, you know, all kinds of shit. It gave me rides, and then, you know, turn around and you know, the person actually is, you know, part of the clique that, you know, hates me, you see. So it's like, oh wow, you know. So yeah, you know, you're conscious of being alone in the isolation, which is way better than being the asshole who doesn't realize he's isolated. You know, you're the one that everybody that gets off on, you know, fucking you over in some capacity. And, you know, being alone is better, you know, in that situation, because, well, if you have a woman and, you know, you're oblivious that you're alone, she's against you, so, well, then she's rolling with them behind your back. It's like, you know, you're just a clown. You're clown shoes, you see. So, you're better off to be alone and conscious of it. People become very toxic and scary. You know, it's not like I can't attract somebody to me because, well, you know, I do get texts from some people that, you know, they're kind of scary, and emails. And, you know, it's like, well, you know, I'm careful about, you know, who and what I'll let in my life, you know. Because people are scary now, and they do evil shit for spite, for meanness, for sport, just because they can. And then later brag about it, you know, like it's something to brag about. You know, it should actually be ashamed that, you know, you drop to that level and you're bragging, you see. So, yeah. Oh, the screaming from the one direction was coming from that house that, you know, got rented, that I was talking about. I was looking for it, and it ended up getting rented by this woman with all these kids. And there's some screamy kids, and she's screaming at them and shit. There's a lot of screaming coming from down there. They left. They all packed up in her car and left. But yeah, you know, that would have been a shithole to live in, but it was close enough that, hey, at least the outdoor kitty, I could have been involved in that. You know, the outdoor kitty ministry, maybe. I don't know. It's like, down there seems like a devilish element where, like, if you attract kitties down there, it might cause them to become endangered. So I don't know. It's like, see, there's all these things you have to consider when you're going to do things like that for animals. You might attract them to a pig like this, you know, nasty retard over here. You know, I can't believe this guy is allowed to run around unsupervised. For real, he's dangerous and toxic. He poisons the ground and other people's animals and shit. You know, he's violent, threatened me with violence, you know, how many different times. 2 of the times I got on tape, man. You know, I filmed it. It's online. And, you know, the police won't do shit because, well, he's the town's favorite retard, I guess. I don't know. But it's like, how come this guy is not, you know, at least have a guardian or somebody watching him 24/7? He walks by here with big sticks and shit. He's always looking menacing up in here. You know, fucking always driving by here. This guy has a driver's license, has the mind of a 5-year-old child. He might would run over a cat or, you know, somebody's dog or a squirrel or a skunk, you know, just to kill it for meanness, regarded as a pest, even if it's somebody's pet. And he might run over a person, like, you know, if he saw me out there and he was all pissed off at me like he was that day, threatening me with shovels and threatening me with a vat of acid, motherfucker might run me over with a car. So I feel endangered just this motherfucker even has a license and can drive back and forth, you know, past here and shit. Okay, here comes the long family again. And they're looking at the homeless kitty, the skinny one sitting on the sidewalk over there. I don't know what happened to the chubbier one with the injured paw. Now, the other night I went out on the back porch in the middle of the night with Aslan, because I don't let him out back anymore. I go out with him, and I go down, and then I set him down. And I've always, like, picked him up off the bed and carried him out, and, you know, would set him down. But I didn't always go down the steps with him. Now I go down the steps with him, too. And, you know, I go down, I put him down, and we're out there. He's using the bathroom. I'm hitting a cigarette. And I could hear a cat scream really loud from that direction, you know, which I never even see cats come from that direction. So it's like, you know, I don't know. It's like my soul just got dark. Like, you know, I hope that's not somebody doing something to a cat. You know what I'm saying? I hope that's just a cat fight. And that, you know, that's all it is, you see. Or, you know, when they're mating, they sound like they're fighting too. And that's what's sad is, you know, cats out here mating, and there's already homeless cats that, you know, they're not getting taken care of. My ministry's not regularly, properly funded enough that I can get a humane trap and catch these cats and then take them to the vet and get them fixed. Then, I don't know, try to adopt them out, which, you know, I have good luck adopting cats out, believe it or not. Of the 2 litters, 2015 and 2017, I got 5 kitties altogether adopted out of those 2 litters. And the only reason the other ones didn't get adopted out is because, well, they're kind of special needs, you know. Frankie's a little hellcat, and she needs to be with her brother. She's got that disease where she won't get any bigger than she is. BB's got the same disease. She's small, and she's been tortured. So, you know, I don't want anybody to have her. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't have a gentle touch, and will make sure that anybody they let in the house doesn't have this weird, fucked up mentality about black cats. You see? Because some people do. They'll do evil shit to black cats when you ain't looking, you know? So it's like, yeah, I don't want her subjected to that. Mama Kitty either. Mama Kitty had bones broken and shit by evil motherfuckers, you see. And BB's still traumatized 5 years later, you know. She's still scared and cries out like you're going to hurt her when you catch her and shit. She may never get past it. And, you know, that's why she was kept. Because, well, she needs the tenderness of somebody compassionate who can empathize with, you know, her being damaged. Because, well, I'm permanently damaged. I know what it's like. And I'm in the unfortunate position where I don't have a human to extend that hand of God to me. You know, hey, you know, he's so fucking damaged and fucked up, man. You know, it's like he can't even really function. And that's kind of how BB is. She can't really function with humans. She's been fucked up like that, and that's kind of how I am. You know, I don't trust humans. You know, beyond like being friendly to them. Hey, how you doing? La la la. You know, and communicating. You know, online and you know via phone and shit. You know, texting. I don't really have any humans in my life. You know, Lisa and John is the closest thing. And it's not like really they're in my life so much as that, like, you know, I haven't been able to get out of their house yet. You know, that's ultimately all it is. The only reason I'm here is I haven't found a place to go. I don't know what happened with the apartment lady. Probably something to do with my record. You know, there's some dumb shit, I don't know. I didn't want that apartment anyway. I'd like to be able to continue to make music. And I'd like to find a place where I could take Slinky and the Hellcats with me and just leave Lisa and John with, you know, a family of kitties that's appropriate to have to take care of. You know, Gato and Mama and Bibi. Because Bibi and Gato are companions. So you can't separate Bibi from Gato. And, well, Mama Kitty, she's a tough old bitch who can weather it out anywhere. And she doesn't do anything wrong, so... You know, you leave a kitty that's not going to do nothing wrong with the other two kitties that ain't going to do nothing wrong, and take the cats that do shit wrong. Like, well, except for Slinky Cat, he'd just be devastated without me, you know? So that's the reason I want to take him. But the other three, E.T., Frankie, and Johnny, those cats are always getting into shit. Johnny will chew cords. You can't let him in the room around your electronics. You'll eventually find some chewed up cords. Frankie gets into shit and chews it all up and fucks it all up. And E.T., ever since he got fucked up in 2017 by, you know, Tim Jesus looking dude, he, you know, has continence problems. Sometimes he shits and pisses, you know, no matter where he's at. And he runs from the pain, like he runs from the litter, like he's trying to get away from the pain when he has to piss or shit. So, you know, that's why I was thinking maybe he still has a needle in him, or it did some damage to him, you see. And, I don't know, the vet we went to was like a fucking pirate or some shit. So, you know, I couldn't even get a full x-ray, even though I paid for it, all the way up his neck, because it could have been stuck in his neck, you know, who knows. So I don't have confidence that he didn't still have the needle in him. And then, you know, it's like rake me over the coals for, you know, any kind of idea of trying to find out if he's got holes in his intestines or something, you know, which is just a simple dye and then an x-ray, you see. So it's a whole nother x-ray price and the price of some dye. But that's got to be a whole nother, like, procedure. Well, okay, well, I can't go that high. Sorry, lady, you know. And it's like, and then they try to rape you because they want to prescribe shit to your cat. You know, it's like, well, you know, I was told, you know, X amount of dollars, and I brought him over here with that amount to spend. And I live on a shoestring, because at the time we didn't have a penny extra, man. So it's like, you know, I kind of stood there with tears in my eyes, just ready to drip from my eyes. It's like, really, you know, because, well, you know, you told me over the phone that even with tax, blah, 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 this is how much, and that's how much I have. I don't have anything more. So they gave me, it was pain medication. They didn't want to give me pain medication for the cat after getting it fixed, Frankie. So it's like, you know, she almost had to do without pain medication, but she's a tough little kitty. She would have toughed it out. But yeah, it's like I had tears in my eyes because I wasn't going to be able to buy her pain medication because we didn't have the money. And they went and found me some in, like the welfare box or whatever, you know. They have some that's the same quality that's for poor people who can't afford to get it for their animals. So I fell in that category, but I got the stuff for the cat. That was what was important to me. And I stood there and like cried in front of the woman, you know, because, well, it meant that much to me. You see, a room full of people too, with their animals. And I don't know, some of them kind of seemed appalled that she would put me through the ringer, you know, and that they would do that, you know. It's like, here, I think everything's covered. Everything's covered with, you know, what I've got in my pocket. And everything wasn't covered, you see. I don't know. See, you hear the noise again coming from down there. Right, because they're back. I told you they're back, right? I don't know, I feel school's out of the world, man. You know, like, the only option for me is just to go ahead and die, you know? It's getting hard, you know? Trying to find place, trying to find space, trying to find a life, trying to find any way to live, you know. Because believe it or not, I'm in a position where I'm having a hard time living, you know. I'm having a hard time wrapping myself around trying to find a way to rebuild. You know, it's like trying to get to the next phase of my life that, you know what I'm saying? It's like get to it and just be done with it. And, you know, if it results in, hey, you know, it was so bad that I killed myself, well, I was gonna do that anyway, right? You see? And ultimately, except for a few of you, there's nobody to really care, you know? There's career women in this town that could really use a guy like me, have a guy like me in their life, a little dog like Aslan. They won't be smart enough to try and hook up with me. But they may see like these videos and be like, you know, may even look down their nose at me. It's like, hey, maybe the universe is looking down its nose at you because, well, you should have been trying to hook up on some level, even as a friend. Somebody would come give me a ride somewhere, take me to like the VFW and a few other places to check bulletin boards. The old people place, I forgot what it's called. There's stuff on those bulletin boards, you know, like this house that is not everywhere else, you know. So it's like, yeah. My sister's great idea about a moped is great, but still there's that snitchy poop. So, yeah. Just cooling off. Let's see. What we got? 71. So we'll be able to open the door back up and turn the air off. Air it out in there and let the cats have the door for a little while. I'm going to write some more of the music to this song so that tomorrow I can lay vocals possibly, if I can write verses to it, which it's one of those songs that has a long hook, so the verses are really short. Because when the hook's really long, I like for the verse to be short to because the song is going to be more about the hook if the hook is really long, right? And if the verses are long too, then it just makes the song long and drawn out. Like if the hook's long and the verses are short, then it's like, you know, right about the time you're getting into the verse and the flow of it, and then the hook comes in, it's like you're missing the verse. You see, you can't wait for the next verse, but at the same time you're appreciating the hook, you see, and how it flowed into it, and how it was just a shorty to come into it, you see. I'm applying different things to what I'm doing musically because I don't feel like you should try and do what everybody else is doing. You shouldn't try to sound like them. You shouldn't try and make your shit emulate them in any way. You should try and be yourself, you know. And I'm not engaged in this loudness war, even though my shit ends up just as loud as everybody else's. I don't know how, it just does. And I'm not engaged in this thing where, you know, everybody's EQing everything just perfectly with their little computer fucking studio and shit, you know. It's like, fuck all that, you know. Shit is not, you know, always perfect. Some of the flaws are where you find the art, You know, that's what makes the masterpiece, is the flaws, you see. So, you know, I like that my mixes don't sound like other people's shit, you see. And I wouldn't want to have my shit mastered, which, you know, I could be having my shit mastered right now across the sea for free. You know, but it'll sound like everybody else as far as the general overall sound. It'd be like really fluffed up, you know, big giant noise floor that's nothing but frequency, subliminal, you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like the big bubble frequency. You know, I don't even know what that's created out of, but I don't want it on my shit. I don't feel like my songs need that, you see. That's some fake shit that came into play over the last 10 years. And, you know, it's just a plug-in, man, you know. And you don't have to have every plug-in on your shit, you know. You don't have to have auto-tune just because everybody else is using auto-tune. And then obligate yourself to sing out of key so that people know that you're singing through auto-tune. You know, It's like, do you see how retarded it can get? Where you have to practice it not being good. To be good, man, and the evil should be called good and the good should be called evil. Okay, well, I rattled off long enough, huh? It's 9:37. I don't know what's going to be calling me out. I'm feeling like, you know, it's either going to get really good soon or really bad, you know? I just can't see it staying level. I'm hoping for the really good. I'm trying to manifest it, foment it, you know? That's why I'm trying to write, like, you know, this love ballad to add to the collection of love ballads. I already have some out there. So, like, this thing could already happen. It could already be happening, you know, right now with one of my previous love ballads. You know, because, well, this one might not be as good as one of them. You see, I don't know. You tend to, while you're working on the song, and, you know, the last song you did, that's like your baby, and, you know, it's kind of like it's your newest, freshest shit, so it's like it's the best shit to you that you did at the time, right, you know, after you did it. And you listen to it a couple hundred times and you get past the novelty of it, and then it's like, well, then you can really objectively just rip it apart, you know. It's like, oh yeah, you know, and it's like you can find every flaw in it, and you know, just make yourself feel really self-conscious about what you put out there. So yeah, you can't really aim for perfection so much as you want people to be able to get into it and listen to it. In their vehicle, you want them to be able to kick on their EQ, and it takes that bass to the kicker, you know, and just makes it nice and loud for them, you know, bounces the back of the car, shit like that, where, you know, you have that's available, you know, and but it's tastefully not too loud if they're not trying to bump up the bass at the same time, because, well, some people don't want the bass to dominate shit, man, you know, and the rest of the mix just gets lost in the bass to them, because all they can hear is the bass and the drums and the vocals. Yeah, I'm seeing Skinny Cat go that way for the first time I've ever seen him go that way. Alright, y'all. This has been like 50 minutes long or so, some shit. Once we put it together, then if I put that other shit on here that I already got in here, it'll be longer than that, probably about an hour almost. So we got a nice little video. You got a nice part of my day for me being so busy and, you know, being engaged in so much shit today. Because I really did try to, you know, get a lot done today. I didn't, but I tried to, you know.